Have you ever wondered how to hear God's voice in your life? Is it something that seems distant or hard to grasp? Well, today, I'm going to share with you how you can start recognizing God's voice in your daily life. It's simpler than you might think, and I promise, it's something you can experience every day. First, let's talk about what God's voice sounds like. It's not always a loud, booming sound like you might imagine. In fact, in 1 Kings 19:11-12, God speaks to Elijah not in a storm or earthquake, but in a gentle whisper. God's voice often comes in moments of stillness, in the quiet of our hearts and minds. But how can we tune into that gentle whisper? Let me share a few simple ways. The first step is to make space for God in your life. When you pray, don't just ask for what you want. Take time to listen. God's voice often speaks in the silence of your heart. It's like having a conversation. Talk to Him, but also wait for Him to respond. In those quiet moments, you may feel a sense of peace or receive clarity about a situation. God's voice is often heard in the stillness. Another powerful way to hear God's voice is through His Word, the Bible. God speaks to us through Scripture, and often when you're reading, a specific verse or passage will jump out at you. This is God's way of guiding you, giving you wisdom, and even answering your questions. If you're not sure where to start, begin with Psalms or Proverbs. They are full of comfort and direction. The third way to hear God's voice is by listening to your inner peace or discomfort. Have you ever felt a strong sense of peace about a decision, or a sudden unease that makes you second-guess something? That's often God guiding you. When you feel a deep sense of peace, it's a sign that you're aligned with His will. On the other hand, if something doesn't feel right or causes you anxiety, it may be God prompting you to reconsider. God also speaks through others. Sometimes a close friend, mentor, or even a stranger may say something that hits home for you. It may feel like a word of encouragement, wisdom, or even correction. Proverbs 15:22 says, "Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed." When God speaks, He can use the voices of the people around you. Finally, remember that God's timing is perfect. Sometimes we want immediate answers, but God's timing may not match our urgency. Isaiah 55:8 reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, I declares the Lord." Trust that God's voice will come at the right moment, and be patient while you wait for clarity. So how do you hear God's voice? It's through quiet reflection, reading His Word, paying attention to your inner peace, trusting others, and being patient in His timing. God is always speaking to us. The key is learning how to listen. If you're feeling uncertain or distant from God, remember, He's always near. Take time today to tune into Him, and you'll begin to hear His guidance more clearly. If this video encouraged you, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and don't forget to subscribe for more faith-filled content. And let me know in the comments how you hear God's voice in your life. Until next time, stay blessed and keep listening to His whispers.